right, and we're back. It's knife time. And last week I was going through my emails and I was like, what is this here? And I clicked on it, and a representative from the Flissa knife company reached out, and they said, hey, we made some tools and stuff, and now we're making knives, and we were wondering if you would test and review some our products. I was like, for sure. And so they sent this along. This is the fixed blade 12-inch Bowie knife that they make. That is what they call it. 12 inches overall. But before we get into the knife, I want to get into the sheath. And it does have branding on it. That might bother some, may not bother others. Don't bother me none. I think it's kind of cool. Flissa. You guys got to help me come up with a good name for this knife. We'll get into that in a little bit. But anyways, it's pretty thick, sturdy hide. It does have the foamy boy stuff between the two layers of the leather for the sheath. The belt hanger is squared away really good. These rivets are really good on there, and this is good, stout, thick, full grain type leather. My favorite part about this sheath is the retention strap has this really good brass prong. No snap to break, no snap to make extra noise. Just that cool little peg. That's one of my favorite things. I like that. That's my favorite thing about the sheath, for sure. Good sheath. Now let's get into this thing. All right, so I spent all yesterday evening and afternoon playing with this thing, and I prepped the pups supper with it and her breakfast, and let's get into it. This is 12 inches overall, 7.5 inch blade, 0.16 thickness there. Very similar to other like knives like this, like, you know, our good old friend Brian the K-Bar. Very similar blade stock, very similar style, albeit this is more of the classic hunter trim. Really nice leather stack handle on that. This is 7CR17 MOV steel, which is equal to 440A or B. They say the hardness on this is coming in at between 52 and 57. And we shall see, because I'm going to be putting this thing through the paces over the next little bit of time, as I find this to be a handsome knife. Let's, I like this, the little marking. It looks like it's a little mountain. Look, it's an F for Flissa. Look, mountain. All right. So, stainless steel hilt, little cross guard here, stainless steel pommel with a nice lanyard hole right there. This handle, for me, has super like SOG agency type vibes, but a little bit shorter. Like, for real, look up the SOG agency, you guys. It's a now defunct knife. This handle style is very similar. This has other types of cool handle styles. The good old leather stacked handle we're talking about a little bit the other day. That's one of my favorite things, and here I go. I got one. That's kind of cool. And but look at that. I really dig that. That's a really good handle, and it's got that good dip for ergonomic use, but yet it's still balanced well. And this knife has a pretty decent balance for such a long bladed thing. It's right in the precipice between the back of the blade and the very edge of this hilt, so it's kind of hard for me to get it on my old wiggly finger, but this knife does have a decent balance to it. It does have the little synthetic material, black, white, black, little on each end between the leather stacks. That's another classic look. This handle has been hand shaped. You look at it. I looked at this underneath UV light last night while I was on the homies podcast, and I was fondling this the whole time. I was looking at this under UV light, and that lets you see like all the things. And for the fit and finish for this thing, look at that around there. And the coolest thing about this knife is, and if let's say I was camping and my knife was for some reason like on my pack or whatever far away from me, and I needed a knife to cut a piece of rope or paracord or whatever with, and my buddy was there, I'd be like, hey Jim, let me see your knife really quick. And he handed me this knife and I cut the thing with it. I'd look at this knife and I'd be like, dang man, this is a pretty cool knife, what'd you pay for it? And I wouldn't believe him at first if he told me what this thing costs. These are on Amazon. I'm gonna do the link, all right, you guys? And these are on Amazon. If you're not a Prime member, these are $26.99. If you're a Prime member, they're 24 and change, basically 25 bucks. I would not believe that. I would at least, even though this is imported, it's made in China, I would at least expect this to be bare minimum around the $50 mark. Like just from, and you guys know I got knives that are all over the board price range. I've found all different types of knives all the time. You guys have seen. And this thing, like 27 bucks. What? And I had bought that other knife, that marbles, I had done a trade for it to get that marbles because that was going to be my fall and winter carry, because Monday is the fall solstice and that's when the junk man returns to nature. That's when I like to head out into the wilderness and do stuff in the hills. And so I got that other knife to be my companion, but since Flissa was nice enough to send me this, I'm gonna go ahead and carry this for the duration. I've been using it for all my knife stuff since it got here yesterday afternoon, and I can say that this thing is punching way, 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 way higher than its price point. I know some people come, there's a lot of people that come through here that know a lot about knives. They know about all the different brands of knives, but then I have other people that I know from like other YouTube circles that I hang out with, and some of them are just learning about knives. This is, from my initial impressions and everything else, this is a good, nice hunting field knife, especially for the price. This is something you could get good, learn how to sharpen your own knife with. It ain't gonna break your bank, and you ain't gonna mess it up. You can always fix metal, almost always. I can't say always, but look at that. One thing I really like, and I want to get into it real quick, is that pommel. It's got a really good, if your wrist is in a good position for actually like having to put in a tent stake if you had to or whatever with this, that angle is just right for how your wrist should be held, so it doesn't impact you wrong. Little weird things like that I noticed about this. That's me kind of like rambling. But seriously, you guys, my initial impressions of this knife is like, yeah, well worth the money. I'm gonna compare it with old Brian the K-Bar real quick and show you guys. And now keep in mind, this is a bless you, neighbor. Wow, that was a crazy sneeze. Did you hear that? That's the old K-Bar. And this is this. And this is bigger. It's bigger than the K-Bar, and it's prettier. Hella prettier. Oh, Brian. No. Hey, it's fun. It like I said, it's got a decent balance. I can't wait to get more muscle memory with this thing. I'm gonna be doing more shorts with this and videos with this as I head out into the wilderness. We'll be we might even make some snacks up in the wilderness by a fire, do some talking about life. Yeah, this is you guys, this is very classic fixed blade belt knife stuff for such a crazy price. It's like, it reminds me, it's very reminiscent of the old Ghost Face, but at least $100 cheaper. See what I'm saying? I kind of dig that. And you know, I'm gonna hand it to him. My first impressions this are, it's pretty cool, and I can't wait to get some use out of it. I like that butt cap. We're gonna make it more better looking, and since I'm gonna be out in the wilderness with this bunch, I'm gonna put a thong on that butt cap. I had this old piece of leather string laying around. I was like, you know what, that'd make a good thong for that new belt knife. I'm gonna EDC this for a while, you guys, just for fun. And we're gonna see if it'll do all the things. For sure. Yeah. Check that out. The Flissa 12-inch leather handle Bowie knife. I'm gonna put the link. It's on the Amazon, the Bezos place. Look at that. You know how we just do it. This thing's pretty cool, you guys. Yeah. We'll get into it some more later. Y'all have a great day. Enjoy your weekend. If you're not working, watch your top knot.